What's up, Face-Off Fanatics? Happy Friday. We got a big weekend, 4 big games, monster games, as I'm sure you guys are all aware, that I wanted to kind of quickly hop on and talk about. 3 out of the 4 teams played last season, so we can kind of talk about the what happened then and then we can kind of predict what might happen this weekend. We have Penn versus Duke, Georgetown versus Notre Dame, Princeton versus Maryland, and UVA versus Ohio State. Penn and Duke, they played each other last year. Penn won in overtime in a pretty high-scoring game. Jamie Zuzi, who was the face-off man for Penn last year, is now on Duke's roster. So, it's going to be a lot of fun for Zuzi to kind of play his old team tomorrow. When Penn and Duke played last year, Chris Arceri was 7 of 17. Jamie Zuzi was 5 of 12. And Jake Naso had a pretty solid day. He was 17 of 29. He was 59% on the day. So now that Naso and Zuzi are a pair and they're playing, and Zuzi's he's playing Chris Arceri, I'm assuming Zuzi and Arceri know each other well, so I'm sure they're going to have a good scouting report on Arceri. It's going to be, I'm assuming it's going to be a great game in general, but I'm very curious to kind of see how Chris will play against the two Duke guys. I'm assuming we'll see a heavy dose of Naso, but maybe they'll sprinkle in Zuzi a little bit. We'll see. That's going to be a fun one to watch. Georgetown, Notre Dame. Georgetown, Notre Dame, they played each other last year. Georgetown won 16-11. James Riley had a monster day. He was 20 of 29. He was 69% on the day, had an assist. Will Lynch, who's having a great season so far, he was 20%. He was 3 of 15. So he's gotten a lot more experience. He's got a lot more experience under his belt now. He's certainly, I don't predict he'll be 20% tomorrow. Colin Hagstrom actually had a better day that day. He was 6 of 14. He was 43%. So Notre Dame's been doing a good job sprinkling in the both of them. I mean, it's mostly Lynch, but when Hagstrom does come in, he's been doing pretty well. So, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Lynch and Riley battle one more time. It should be, Riley. He had a good game last week. He missed a couple ground balls, but he's going to be ready to go. I mean, this is a big game for Georgetown in general. This is kind of they need this win badly. So, they're going to rely on Riley to win them some possessions all game. So that's a must watch for all the face-off fanatics out there. Let's move on. Let's get to Maryland, Princeton. Maryland and Princeton played twice last season, once in the regular season and then obviously in the Final Four. In the first game they played in the regular season, Tyler Sandoval did not play. I think he had COVID, and Weirman ran wild. He was 19 of 27, 70% on the day with 2 goals. In the Final Four, when Sandoval did play, Sandoval was 11 of 20, so he was 1 over 50%. And Weirman was still he was still 59% on the day, though. He was 13 of 22, had an assist. So Princeton needs to make sure that Weirman, that they can contain Weirman, definitely stop him from scoring, generating offense, having any kind of points tomorrow. Weirman's obviously, he's off to a hot start. But I have nothing but respect, obviously, for Princeton's wings. So if Sandoval can muck it up a little bit, I like Princeton's wings over Maryland's. So it's going to be a really fun game to watch as well. I cannot wait. And then finally, our 4th game is UVA, Ohio State. They did not play last year, and I went back a bunch of years. I don't even know the last time UVA and Ohio State played. But P.D. LaSala's P.D. LaSala. He's already, 60% on the season already, 4 goals. He's already got 4 goals. He's a little banged up. So they've had the, Mac Eldridge, the freshman, play. He's been doing okay. But I do expect, this game will be played down in Florida. So it won't be cold. I do expect, as long as P.D. LaSala is ready to go, I know he's, he loves playing in these big games. And he's going to be playing Ohio State, who has Drew Blanchard, who's having a nice little season. I mean, he's 68% on the season already. He's very quick as well. He's got some good wings. UVA has such a monster offense, and Ohio State has such a monster defense. I don't know. For us face-off fanatics, I don't know. I just don't know if we're going to see a lot. I predict this will be like a 15-14 type game, but we'll see. I'm hoping for a lot of face-offs. So those are the big four this weekend. Can't wait to watch. I would say if there's some honorable, I have two honorable mention games maybe to keep an eye on as well. Quinnipiac versus Bryant. Dimitri George at Quinnipiac was a huge reason why they beat Brown last week. It was a heck of a game. If you haven't seen it, go to the YouTube page, check it out. They're playing the Bryant duo, who kind of struggled a little bit last week against Boston U, Connor Calderon. So Nathan LaLiberty and Jacob Alexander versus Dimitri George. That should be good this week. And then you got UMass versus Boston U. You got Caleb Hammett of UMass playing Connor Calderon of Boston U. We'll see if those two take the majority of the face-offs that game. That should be a heck of a game in general. So I'll keep your eye on those two games as well. So as always, if you miss some of these games this weekend, you can check out the full face-off highlights on the Face-Off Zone YouTube channel. Please give it a subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys in the zone. Have a good weekend.